Good morning, everyone. My name is John Cravel. I'm the lead instructor for Principles of Business BMGT 1101. One of the assessments that you guys will have this semester is a student-designed project. And what I wanted to do is take a couple minutes here at the beginning of the semester and walk you through what's going to be included in this project, how your instructor will help you, and some of the resources that we have provided to you to help support not only the identification of what that project is going to be, but how to fulfill the requirements of it as well. If you click on Our Classroom on the left-hand side of our Blackboard course section, that's going to open up for you a lot of information. One of the folders that you're going to have access to, and I believe it'll be a tab at the top, is this titled Student Design Project. Go ahead and click on that, open that up. And then we'll start to see all the different pieces and parts that are going to be available to you on day one of the semester. Now, there's a couple things here, right? We have a project ideas, we have a running list, and we'll look at those. But we also have the proposal that's due, and then we have the final product that's due as well. Now, one of the other things that we include here is going to be a design rubric for a project that should be student designed, student led. And when we look at this, really put yourself through the paces to see if we are actively doing all of the required parts of this. So when we look at key knowledge, understanding, and success skills, and we come all the way over to includes the features, the project is focused on teaching students specific and important knowledge, understanding, and skills. And so we're looking for a very set demonstration, a very set inclusion of what that course content is, and being able to tie whatever idea you come up with back to the course. You will be able to turn in your project proposal here. You'll be able to turn in your final product here as well. Now, I'm just going to open up the project ideas, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click over to what that proposal looks like. Now, this is the first assignment that you're going to have to turn in. What is your driving question? How will I pursue the answers to this question? What we're really looking for here is for you to provide the guidelines, the guardrails as to whatever you want to pursue. Now, the interesting part about this is you're going to turn this into your instructor. They will get you feedback. They'll give you some suggestions on which way to go. But the concept of what you want to do is completely up to you. What we want to do and what we have encouraged students to do in the past is to look at your career goals, look at your current job, and see if there's something that you can do that's going to set you farther ahead. I'm going to pull open an example of this here in a second. But think of this from your boss's standpoint, your employer's standpoint. If you go to them and say, listen, I have a project that needs to be completed for my Columbus State business class, and they're giving me the option to pick something that could be beneficial to my current job. If your boss needs a project done, and you go and you really investigate it, you put together your thoughts, you put together your conclusions, you show the implementation plan, and then deliver it to them in 2 months down the line, that's going to help you. That's going to give you some additional authority, credence, knowledge, trust, right? That your employer is going to really value as you go down this path. So I would definitely talk to them in addition to finding out what you want to do in the future as well. Now, Jen McCord, one of the instructors here at Columbus State, has put this together for us, and we look at a bunch of different things, right? Workplace and careers. What is the outlook for an employment sector? I think that'd be good if you are getting into a job, whether it's warehouse, logistics, marketing, whatever it might be. Industry, company, or product focus. Compare and contrast two companies in one industry. That's good. Are malls dead? I mean, you look at comparing this to the Sears and Blockbuster and Gator Mountain. Maybe we look at which way markets are going in general. And then you look down through a lot of these others, and you can just see, okay, maybe there's something in here that's going to pique my interest. And this is a live list, so this is pulled from Google Docs, I believe, and as we go through, you're going to see this list build over time. But it's a good place to get you started. So what I want to do now is I want to show you an example of a student project from this past semester. And it was confidential because it was designed by the company who was working for it. So whenever you see a smiley face or you see words taken out, that's, there's a reason for that. But what this person was able to do is look at efficiency in their job, and we're going to take a spin through to see all the different pieces and parts. They looked at initial expectations, improving efficiency in the cage, which you look at and it's a warehouse or pick and pull type of place. And then they're going to not only do the implementation plan, but the next steps and final takeaway. Now, how does this really go back to what we do in Business Management 1101? Understand what it means to be a manager, project position and career path, management skills, manage a product, and then also production. All these are topics that are very relatable to this course, and we will cover, especially management, especially operations and production management, in two different chapters. So you're starting to see that, yeah, we're going to take these theories and we're going to apply them to the real world. What I want to show you here is the project chart, and I was really impressed with this because it kind of takes what we do from a classroom project standpoint and puts it into the real world terms and needs. And so when we look at this, it's going to start looking and saying the naming convention and the cage does not correspond to the rest of the FC. Objectives: resequence to make the naming convention match arrest and increase the UPH for picking by 10%. Now that's going to be a key part to this, right? Because this is going to directly lead, if it's true, to cost savings. Cost savings makes everybody happy, especially your boss. So we can look at that, and then we're starting to look and see, okay, well, what happens when we go through and start tracking the amount of steps that people are taking? Not only that, but in the path, and how we really look and start to pull some of that real data in. Now, the good part about this, too, is, if you notice, now, the explanation may not have been great in that slide, but what you start to see was that the student was giving life to the presentation. And so it's not just something static that we see on the screen. There's going to be some audio explanation component, and that's what really ratchets up the success of any project. Now, I've had students complete websites, right? Wireframe websites. I've had students do Prezis. I've had students do PowerPoints. I've had students, stand up in class, and the whole gamut of options that are available. So you can pick whatever the end product is. This student did a really good job because it started to show the process of, here's the problem, here's how we think we're going to solve it, here's what the data says, and then we start getting into not only the data here, but it's also what would save this company in theory. And then as we go through and we actually start translating that data to the computer, to what the results of the business were, we can see that this student was able to save their business over $44,000. Now, that's impressive in its own right, and it also sets the stage for you as a student here at Columbus State that it is possible to do whatever you want to do, right? And it has real world impact as well. So you also look and, plotted out the faces there, but shows the people that took part in this. And then you look and you start to see, okay, well, what's going to happen as we go forward with this entire process? Continue the data pick for the next 6 months, redid the naming convention, And what are some of the takeaways? And we can play the audio here as well, but again, it comes back to focusing on some of those core content pieces from Business Management 101, 1101, and how we actually take the concepts and apply them and show that they have real world value. Not just in your job, not just in your classmates' job, but going forward in the future, and gives you the opportunity to make an impact not only for your career now, but where you're going as well. So guys, I appreciate the time and getting into what this course and what this project is meant to be. If you have any questions, reach out to your instructor and they will help go through this process with you. Thanks for your time, everyone. Bye-bye.